Hello, and welcome to the Senior School Assembly for Monday the 11th of May on the theme of sustainability. Although as humans we've been terribly affected by the current coronavirus pandemic, not all species have seen this effect, and some have begun to appear in places they would not normally be seen. As our towns and cities have become quieter, so animals have taken the opportunity to explore beyond their normal ranges. For example, pelicans being seen walking down the Mall in London, or goats being seen in the town of Llandudno in Wales, deer in Harold Park in East London. And it's not just land animals. Reduced activity in our waterways and oceans means that a pod of orca were spotted off Thurso Bay in Scotland, and there have also been reports of marine life returning to the canals in Venice and to the coral reefs surrounding Hawaii. There was an estimated 25% increase in flamingo numbers seen in Mumbai, and the lions in Kruger National Park in South Africa took the opportunity to have a snooze in the road as a result of the lack of traffic. And it's not only wildlife that's being affected. Air pollution levels have dropped right across the planet, with visibly clearer skies being seen around New Delhi's India Gate War Memorial, and satellite images from both China and Italy showing that air pollution is being reduced. It's estimated that air pollution kills 4.2 million people per year globally, so a reduction in air pollution could potentially save lives in the long term. Another factor to consider is that preliminary studies appear to indicate there may be a link between air pollution levels and the severity of COVID-19 infection. It's too early to say and be certain, but it's something that scientists are looking into. Some are concerned that the current situation could have a detrimental effect, as scientists aren't able to get out and monitor the environment, and also that campaigns are halted and the global summit to agree emissions targets has been cancelled. It's important to recognise that this crisis is having a huge impact on health and the economy of people right across the globe, and no one would have wanted to reduce emissions by this method. Some are finding hope in the community, national and international responses to this crisis, and seeing the way that as humanity has responded so positively and so quickly, and finding hope in the fact that we may respond in this way to a global climate emergency. So what happens when we start to ease the lockdown? Will emissions just go back to normal as we begin to try and get our lives back to normal? The financial crash of 2008 caused a similar dip in emissions across the globe, but it then caused an increase as governments tried to kickstart their economy by looking to industry, and any decreases were wiped out by being followed by increases. So we could take this as an opportunity to evaluate the sustainability of our lives going forward, and this can start at home. Home energy audits look for ways in which energy is being lost in a home. They consider things like, have you unplugged all your devices? Are there different ways in which you could heat or insulate your home? How energy efficient are the appliances that you're using? And laundry doesn't just stop because we're in lockdown. Do you wash your clothes in colder water? Do you hang your clothes to dry rather than using a tumble dryer? All these will contribute to emissions and to a house's carbon footprint. Transport contributes a quarter of all greenhouse gas emissions. Currently, the majority of planes are grounded, and our roads are almost deserted. So what happens as restrictions are eased? Maybe this is a good opportunity to think about cycling or walking for shorter journeys, and thinking about how we get around in general. Can we continue to catch up with friends and family remotely? And can we reduce our transport and air travel going forward? We're now starting to have a greater understanding of the impact our choice in clothing has on the environment. We need to make our clothes last, and we need to try and buy less. When we do decide that an item is not needed anymore, then we should make sure that we try to swap it or recycle it, and try not to send it to landfill. The food that we eat has a big impact on our carbon footprint, and considering opting for local, seasonal produce will help, but reducing our consumption of red meat, and also making sure that we don't waste food, are probably the two biggest things that we can do when it comes to managing the carbon footprint of the food that we eat. I hope that you're able to take this opportunity to consider how we might live more sustainable after the pandemic. But most importantly, at this really challenging time, is to stay safe and stay healthy. Make sure you look after your physical and mental health.